All right, guys, Fulu coming to you with another video or another commentary. Now, as a disclaimer, I'm not a fan of Tommy Sotomayor by any means. As a matter of fact, I don't even remember the last time I watched a video on him. I think, if I'm not mistaken, him and Tariq Nasheed had some some differences with one another, and that became pretty intense, right? And so, with that being said, I never was a fan of Tommy Sotomayor whatsoever. Okay, I never digged him. I never really looked at his content. But the moral of the story is this: you cannot let a woman, as a man, I'm especially talking to Fula men. You can't let a woman get the best out of you. Okay, you cannot let that happen. Okay, um, you can't let a woman basically take away your one thing that you have, and that's your power. Okay, as a man, you have certain power. As a man, you have certain energy. You can't let a woman dictate that with her petty ass arguments. Because I'm gonna tell you something: women, Western women, for the most part, don't know when to shut up. Okay, that's just the bottom line. Okay, they don't. It's just something that they don't know how to do. Okay, and if you succumb to that that um that nature, then what happens is you become that. Okay, so let's get into it and let's see what happened. And granted, I don't like any of them. Um, I don't like any of them. I don't like I don't like Fresh and Fit. I don't like any of them. But this is a perfect example of why, as a man, if a woman tries to argue with you, just leave. Okay, don't even try to, don't even logically try to, like, go at it with her. Okay, do not try it. But let's look at this. Let's see.
It's just, I'm like, where's
It's
Waldo?
because you. I actually got a question for you, Tommy, and I'm really not trying to offend you.
If you start off saying,
When they say that, that's when they are trying to offend you. That's the thing. That's when they are trying to offend you. I'm gonna be honest with you. There was an experience 2 days ago where basically I was like, I said I have my taste. I said I like what women from my neck of the woods, like West African women. And I said, I have a fondness for African, like Afro Caribbean and Afro Latin women, traditional Afro Latin, traditional Afro Carib women. You know what I mean? I said, I have my preference. I said, yeah, yeah. I said, I don't really care about East. I said, I really don't care for East African women like that because they have, I didn't say all. I didn't say all, but I said that the majority of them have this proceed Arabism to themselves. And then I said, I even said, I basically gave all logical responses. I said, there's beautiful women everywhere. You know what I mean? No matter what the background may be. However, certain people are attracted to certain women. Yeah, I said to myself, I'm attracted to damn. Um, I'm attracted to what I'm attracted to. The East African, like, two in particular came at me, and they were very argumentative. They were very combative, and things like that. And it shouldn't have even bothered them. What a nigga on an app who will never meet them in life has to say. And they just wanted to start shit. So I said, you know what, bro? I'm going to remove myself from this shit. You know, I'm removing myself, you know. And so that's why I don't like, that's why in Fulani culture, you don't pedestal any woman. You don't put any woman on a pedestal. So when niggas do that, like when niggas put like East African women on a pedestal and stuff like that, it's like, man, you guys are stupid. You know, you guys are very dumb. So please stop it.
I hope that you really don't feel that type of way.
I don't feel like that's what I was trying to tell her. Like, I was going to say that. That was going to be my close. Anybody that knows me knows I like a conversation for the sake of the conversation.
Okay.
At the end of the conversation, I'm like, I was in debate club. When you get through with it, you shake hands.
Well, that's the problem. Okay. According to Islamic tradition, like, there's certain etiquette and adab you have when you're debating. And the thing is like, you have to understand something. The more you debate, the like, I guess you can say the more like the more drawn in you're gonna be to these things, and the more of your energy is gonna be drawn in into this. So you shouldn't debate. You know, that's the thing. You should leave it alone. You're better off leaving debating alone. Silence is always better for a man. Always better.
Playing basketball, you don't get mad because you won or you lost. It's a part of the competition.
Okay.
We are supposed to be here to entertain, enlighten, and educate a little bit.
Okay.
And so when I was talking to her, I was just trying, and the same with you or anybody else. I challenged them. Yeah. You should want to be challenged if you're having a discussion. Why is it that we can only talk to people who agree with us?
Facts.
That's what's making America like
So can I ask
soft.
that question?
That was the question.
No, it wasn't. So I don't know if you've seen. I unfollowed you.
Oh shit!
The
You gonna
only
refollow me?
I will, but only if it's convenient for me to follow you. So can you turn that shit off?
No, they can hear. They can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, so
They can hear
I unfollowed you because every time I go on my Instagram, I see you downplaying black women, as in to the point where I don't see no other race, but you always posting something about a black woman did this or what they're doing, and I'm like, nigga, you black yourself. What are you doing?
So the moral of the story is this. Don't get me wrong, there are some coons, okay? I'm not gonna sit here and cap and say, you know, nobody's cooning and stuff like that. Now, granted, for me, I haven't really heard enough of Tommy Sotomayor to make that verdict and decide, okay, this guy is cooning. Okay, I haven't really heard that much, okay? So with that being said, I'm not going to I'm not going to just make that assumption that, okay, this guy is being a coon. I'm not going to say that. You know what I mean?
So I got tired of seeing it, and I want to just say the one that got to me, the one that made me unfollow you, was the one that it was the one with the lady that had the wig or something like that, and I guess you know which one I'm talking about.
I don't, because I talk about ladies in wigs a lot, so I was like, what?
Exactly, and they're all black. So it's just like I was cool, you know, I was really cool, everything, but
What was it on there that bothered you? What was it about that post?
it was specifically you were saying something about I guess she was playing you or something. Somebody that reported your page. I don't really know. I unfollowed you about a week ago, so I really don't remember. It was around my dad's death, but I didn't want to see it on my TL because I'm like, damn, Tommy, like I thought you was better than that.
Better than what? Well, okay. I explain it to people like this. One, I don't understand why.
Okay, now here's the thing. At first, it started off civil, which is okay. But then you're going to see a different side of it. Okay. Listen, it's cool for it to start off this way, for it to start off very civil, very calm and stuff like that. But then watch what happens.
Black women get to tell a black man, because you're black, you can't talk about this group.
You can.
Well, hold on. If you go to ESPN, you're going to get sports. You're not going to get politics, you're going to get sports. So when people come to me, they're going to hear me talk about what I think is the problem.
Okay.
I think we have a lot of issues, and I think they are starting with the idea of our women. So I will speak on that. Now, you can go to another guy and hear him Young Pharaoh tell you about how black women are God and then cheat on y'all and beat you. You can go hear that if you want.
And that's true. I 110% agree with that, what he just said. You know, Young Pharaoh, here's someone who's going to say, oh, the black woman is God. A black man had nothing to do with creating a black child. The mitochondrial DNA of this, that, and the other, stop it with that, So he, like, for example, Young Pharaoh will just erase the fact that a black man had anything to do with the creation of a child. He's absolutely right. Well, in the same token, Young Pharaoh will just mess around, turn around, shoot in his baby mom's house, beat on his baby mom, threaten to kill her, sniff cocaine, and all this other stuff. So he's absolutely right. I agree with that.
But I think it's odd that you're willing to listen to somebody tell you how great you are and you're kings and queens and how you're the most beautiful thing on the earth, but you're not listening to somebody say the other side of the same thing.
In other words, you listen to someone gas you up. In other words, you listen to a simp. Young Pharaoh is a simp. Bottom line.
I was saying on the discussion, why not hear more than one side? So you can go to somebody else and hear them tell you all the things that make you feel good. But if you come to me, I'm going to tell you the opposite, because why do you need to hear that? And the last thing is, I grew up in a family, and most of us grew up around black folks. If you grew up with a black mom, a black grandmama, or a black aunt, it's funny how we listen to those who supposedly love us, talk to us and say, sit your black ass down, don't do this, slap you when you get... You can listen to your mama who had you talk to that way, but not a guy who you don't know, who you could simply unfollow. That lets me know a lot of people are soft. I can follow someone and I will argue, not you're black, so you can't talk about blacks. I'll say, does what you say have merit? I don't care if a white person's talking about blacks. Because here's what's funny. You don't want a black man to talk about black women. But if a white woman did it, would you listen to that? Nope. You say she was racist. If anybody else did, so who can talk?
And that's the thing. Like, a lot of the time, with a lot of people, not just Vallejo, but even with my experiences with, like, what happened in Clubhouse, a lot of times people dislike you when you talk about like I want to say, when you talk about things that their people do. A lot of times they dislike you. A lot of times when you call it out, you're going to be the enemy. You're going to be public enemy number one. And in addition to that, you're going to be in the crosshairs of that group of people for the simple fact of just talking about something that you see, something that you observe, something that you know happens, and they have a problem with it. But let's continue.
So my problem, I ain't gonna say problem. My whole debate is why you only target black. Like, I'm pretty sure white people get on you too. Dominican people get on you too. Why you don't say something about them?
When I say
come
white
on
women,
now, I know every race get on your ass. You're Tommy.
When I say white women got flat, I did a whole song about white women and they flat ass.
We ain't talking about those songs. We talking about your posts.
Maybe
when I say something about white people, they eat it.
Yeah, because he's black.
They eat it. I can get up in the front of a comedy set, and I've done it several times, made fun of the white people in the audience. They eat it. They're not sitting around wearing their emotions on their shoulders, and white men don't go around talking about some call me king because we created the earth.
And that's the point. Like, I'm sorry to say it, but like, a lot of black people like to get gassed up. Malcolm X said they like token victories. And that's true. So when you call him king, when you call him God, stuff like that, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, that's right. You know, that's what they like. Unfortunately, there was one from one of the most securest places and one of the most peaceful places and one of the most legendary places of Islam on Clubhouse last night. And he, you know, he's from Senegal. And unfortunately, he adopted the whole Hotep ideology. In fact, he changed his name to Ankh. And I'm like, oh God, what is this dude talking about? And then he had a woman, you know, furthermore, co-sign his stupidity. You know, yo Allah walu.
There's only one group of people who keep giving themselves false praise. You want to get mad that somebody's talking about somebody wearing a
Okay,
wig.
but we should have every right to feel that we
You can, and I have every right to say what I. But listen,
Exactly.
what you just said. I don't go to other
You should
people's
know our
stuff.
background.
No, but yes. So if I would
Exactly.
speak on it,
So we
because
should have every right to feel that way.
I speak.
Okay, so that's in the crazy thing is people who have every right to feel that way didn't act that way. You know, you had guys like Thomas Sankara, you had guys like Toussaint Louverture, you had guys like Jean-Jacques Dessalines, you had guys like Henry Christophe, and it's crazy. Henry Christophe was a king, you know what I mean? But he worked like a peasant. Like, here's a nigga who would basically see if you were on your job, you know, and who would go tend the fields himself. Here's a guy who did everything that a worker would do, yet he's still a king. It wasn't, you know, the title had no effect on him. You know what I mean? As a matter of fact, his kingdom was more industrious, more productive, more economically successful than he was basically white at the end of the day. Alexander Petion, basically a white dude, like he was 3/4 white. So with that being said, his part of the island was just known for laziness and idleness, while the other part of the island was known for productivity, industrialist, and that was largely due to the fact that the king was that. He didn't just sit around and call himself and refer to himself as a king. He didn't just do that shit. He didn't do that shit, man. And that's what these like belligerent women, especially these belligerent women, like to be referred to as goddesses, like to be referred to as queens. And I hate that title. You know, I hate both of those titles now. You know.
Because I know the background. So if you can go on your stuff and talk about how great you are, and I don't go on there and tell you you can't, why would you follow me, see what I say, then come tell me what I can't say when you said you can say what you want? That's true now.
And, you know, as you see right now, he's using logic. You know, he's using super logic for his points. But they don't like that.
I always say this. Black women love to say how strong they are. If you're really strong, other people's opinion shouldn't bother you that much.
It don't.
That part right there. And granted, again, I'm not saying that like I'm a Tommy Sotomayor like follower. I'm not saying that. I'm just like basically I'm just observing what he says. And if what you say makes sense, no matter where you're from, I'm gonna like rock with it. And what he is saying right now makes perfect sense. But let's continue.
You're the most.
But why would you want to talk about your own race?
They're not. Listen, see what you're saying? Why would you want to talk about your own race? But if I sit there and said how great they were, you wouldn't say, why would you want to talk about your own race?
Exactly,
So all I can
wouldn't.
do is big up a group of people?
I wouldn't.
So all I can do is big up a group of people? You got to go to somebody else. Go to another dude who talk and big you up. I won't, because it's not my job. You live in America, but you can talk bad about America. They don't
Sure
kick
they
you
can.
out.
He said
Just missed the logic. Completely missed the logic. If
what
you
he's
live
saying is that no one is above criticism.
Mhm.
Regardless of where the criticism comes from, if it's a valid critique, the fact is a fact that does not change based on who's necessarily said.
They never argue what I say. It's just I'm black and I can't say it, which is a childish argument.
You can say
A
whatever.
midget can't talk about midgets because he's small.
You can say whatever. So if he can say whatever, what's the damn problem? Why are you coming at him then? If he can say whatever, what's the problem? Why are you coming at him? If he can say whatever, like, you should just be quiet then. You shouldn't have anything to say. Well, let's continue.
A fat girl can't talk about fat girls because she's fat.
That's a good comparison.
It gets silly. And like I said, when I brought up they're American, they were born in America, but sat right here and dissed the American government and said, all they do is lie. So you can diss, but you're American.
I mean, yes and no. I mean, you have to do the history, but with the 3/5 compromise and all that other stuff and everything like that, you have to do the history, and that, I guess that thing can be subjective. It depends on who you talk to. Some people will say, nah, you know what? We're not American. You know what I mean? Some will say, hey, you know, we're indigenous. We were here before the so-called the Nedjo, right? Some will run with that card, and others will not run with that card. Okay, but what needs to be said though is that now that thing is, I kind of look at it in an objective manner. You know what I mean? That right there is objective. Some people will say, okay, well, you know, we're not American, this, that, and the other. Others will say, you know, we're American. You know, they'll be like, oh, we're American, right? So it's you know, it just depends on who you are. Because you have some like black people, like that sheriff, I think his name is David Clark, who are like just straight up coons, right? And who just like booty lick America. And then you have those other dudes who are kind of like in between. You know, they're kind of in between, and they just, you know, they pretty much mention the good, the bad, and the, you know what I mean, of America, but they still like, you know, they still, I want to say, you know, still say, yeah, you know, we're American, this, that, and the other, right? It depends on who you talk to, really, in regards to this.
Okay. And my point is, why every time I get on Instagram, you're the only person that's saying the same thing about black women, though? Like, you're the only one. Like, they people say what they say about Fresh and Fit, but I don't see it every day on them. Every time I go on my Instagram, you're just specifically only targeting black women. And I didn't like that, because I'm like, damn, it ain't that deep. You don't got to go that hard. So what, somebody says something about you, that don't mean you got to do a whole post about a black person. I'm pretty sure white people, Dominican people,
Got a post about a white
Portuguese
girl right
people,
there. Got a
everything
post.
say about you.
Is he diminishing them or perfecting them?
He literally tagging the people.
You know, the thing is what happens with these Vallejo, man, is that, like, they don't like when the heat comes back on them for things that they say and do. Like, so for example, they could be they will antagonize a black dude who ain't like a Pookie or Ray Ray, who's just like basically doing his thing. You know what I mean? Like exploring his options, and what have you. They'll antagonize him, right? But maybe when he fires back, that's when it's like, oh, I didn't appreciate you doing that. I didn't appreciate you doing that. So the thing is that, you know, and this is with a lot of these Western women. You know, this is with a lot of these Western Belejo and Denejo women. When you decide, like, yo, I'm not going out like that. I'm not going to let you talk to me like that. I'm going to say I'm going to say something that's going to violate you. You know what I mean? You want to violate me? I got something for you. When you do that, what happens is they can't take it, you know? And so then it becomes a matter of like, and I've seen this. I've seen this on Clubhouse where a dude will make a valid point. A dude will put a woman in their place, right? And then that dude, unfortunately, has to apologize for it, putting that woman in their place. Because the thing is, like, as I said, you can't let energy vampires take your energy. You know, you cannot let that happen. You know, and I'm gonna go into I'm gonna go into 2 more videos in regards to that. You know, in regards to like energy vampires. But let's continue.
Whoever said that.
No, I'm not.
Okay, I ain't gonna say you're tagging,
See,
but
that's
you're
what I'm saying.
putting
Now
their
you're just gonna
picture.
keep saying
You're putting
things.
their picture on there.
So
You are.
I'm looking at my.
You
I'm
are.
looking at my Instagram right now.
And I
my
follow.
own Instagram.
I
Do
that
you
I
have-
don't follow.
Do you
I
have
don't
like
follow, but I'm
women
looking
in
at
your
my Instagram
The
right
only
now
way
and
that I
scrolling
felt
my
some
Instagram.
way is because it's
Because
like
you
it's
saw what you
no
wanted
other
to see.
race you go so hard on but your own kind.
Because he cares.
Listen,
If he cared, he
If
wouldn't
it-
go so hard.
you don't
on
tell
it.
me how to do what I do. I got my psychology degree. You didn't. So if
Okay,
you wanna
but
ta-
I-
Yeah, you have to like put them in your place, bro. You cannot let these women dictate anything you do. Okay, you're a man. At the end of the day, a woman is there to advise you. Okay, not tell you something that you have to do. A woman is there to advise you. You pretty much, even if a woman, like, even like, let's say you're in corporate America, 9 times out of 10 times that, you know, if a woman shows you how to do a certain job, you're going to be able to pick it up. And actually, you know, what happens is that if you're really focused and really locked in, you'll probably like be excelling in the job like in no time. Okay. That's just the golden rule. So don't let a woman try to dictate what you have going on. And so I didn't know he had a psychology degree, but hey, you know, let's continue.
I studied psychology,
I've
so I
helped
know
more
the
people
difference.
than you. I've had more people say I've
Of
changed
course,
their
you're-
life and
you're
saved
30
their
something.
life.
I'm only
No, I'm
25,
actually
but I'm
40
very
something,
smart
but I
and
did
wise
it with-
for my
the
age.
point is,
Anytime a woman says that, or anytime anybody says that, and by the way, she doesn't look even 25. She looks, I thought she was like damn near 30, but that's neither here nor there. But anytime like, this goes for all the young pharaohs, this goes for all, like, everybody. This goes for every conscious person. This goes for everybody. Anytime someone says I am this or I am that, just know that that person has narcissistic traits. Anytime someone says like I am this, like I am pretty, I am cute, I am smart, I am intelligent, just know that these people are self-absorbed. Okay, just understand that from rip. Okay. So she's trying to play intellectual football, and she's not being intellectual, she's being emotional. Well, let's go.
do it your way. Don't tell me not to do it mine.
Of course. But I'm letting you know.
But I didn't
you
care.
can go
But
a whole
I
different
don't
way
care.
about it.
But I don't care. You do it. If you
Obviously.
know how to build a house better than me, you build it. Don't tell me to do it.
Okay.
Exactly. That's it. Yeah, like that's why I was like on Clubhouse. I'm like, okay, well, if why I said this too. I said this to this these 2 East African women. I said, what do you care about a nigga who you'll never meet, how he feels about East Africans? and their anti-West African rhetoric. What do you care? I'm just simply calling it out. What do you care? You know, it shouldn't bother you if it shouldn't even bother you. If it doesn't relate to you, it shouldn't bother you. Period.
But I'm just letting you know, if I'm only time that I see, if I'm going on my Instagram, that's exactly why I unfollowed you, because I don't see nothing else but black people that you post on your page. You don't talk about no other race.
I don't care. Anybody who wants to unfollow me, unfollow me now.
I will say that
You can't unfollow my bank account. I'm still rich, so I don't care what people don't follow.
Money don't make nobody.
No, apparently it does if you do the shit you saying you do for it.
Boom! There you go. Don't let a woman do that shit to you. Do not let a woman tell you that shit. Okay? Because for the most part, a Belejo and a Denejo woman's soul is for sale. Money is the only thing that matters to them. Okay? Because if it didn't matter to them, I mean, let's be honest. Let's be honest with ourselves. Now, granted, you do see foreign women on OnlyFans. You know, you do see foreign women. Well, who is the majority of women you see on OnlyFans? Who is the majority of women you see on OnlyFans? Modern, Western, Belejo, and Denejo women. Let's be honest with ourselves, guys. Let's be completely honest.
You don't make nobody.
You're gonna sit there and talk bad about the thing that you talked up. Jesus, why wouldn't someone listen to you when you say, I understand you don't like watching it? Don't watch it.
That's why
I don't like gay porn.
Nigga.
I don't go around looking for it.
I unfollowed
I
you 2
don't
weeks
care.
ago.
Okay, that's
I don't care. Jesus Christ.
Y'all about to have a recall.
I don't give a fuck. I don't follow
Obviously,
you
you
either.
do.
No, don't. You brought it up.
Obviously, you do,
brought it
because
up.
See, this is the problem when shit. At first he had his frame. He had a good frame at first, but then like unfortunately he went into the deep end, and then she got the best of him, unfortunately, you know. She got the best of him, like it's unfortunate, but yeah. She got the best of him. And you know, it is what it is, but it's like damn, like he shouldn't have let her do that to him. You know, he shouldn't have let that happen, but he let it happen.
you're getting mad.
Dude, because you keep talking about it like I'm supposed to give a fuck. You unfollowed.
Obviously, you
had to
care.
announce it.
You know I don't give a fuck.
You
though.
had to announce
You know,
it, sir.
Of course I'm.
If you didn't give a care, then why are you still talking about it right now? If you didn't give a care, why are you still talking about it? And that's why I said in Clubhouse the other night, I'm like, okay, if you don't care, why are you still talking about it? You know, the thing is about the Clubhouse, I don't screen record Clubhouse, or I don't record the replays or anything like that. The thing about Clubhouse is that there was this one person, you know, and this is what a lot of East Africans do. It's no different from like how like the Nejo people, they like a certain group. They like a certain black Belejo person who may be doing something for their country. Like, for example, an athlete, you know, they'll like him and stuff like that. But, you know, because of his athletic prowess. But if he wasn't an athlete, they wouldn't second guess him. It's the same thing with East Africans. You know, now that Senegal has won the African Cup of Nations, it's like we're in. So I called this one East African woman out trying to claim Senegalese, and I was speaking in Wolof. You know, I was asking her Nakasawa Kir, Negadef, Lube. I was like asking her these questions, and she didn't know how to respond. So I'm like, okay, like, why are you claiming Senegalese when you guys don't even mess with us? You know what I mean? Like, why are you guys like, listen, man, out of all, like, I have not known one West African man, especially one Senegalese man, to have been courted by an East African woman. Like pretty much, I've met Senegalese who have married like Ivorians. I've met Senegalese who have married Guineans. I've met Senegalese who have married Sierra Leoneans. I have met Senegalese who have married Nigerians. I have not seen one marry like an East African because they don't mess with us like that. You know, that's the thing. And I'm just keeping it a buck. Okay. And so she got in her feelings when I called her out on her shit. You know, she got in her feelings. But I'm gonna call out the bullshit. Because if we never won the African Cup of Nations, she wouldn't even be having that kind of energy. But I digress.
Jesus Christ, that was a question.
You sound insane.
No, you sound insane.
You're bothered by what I post. I don't
And
give a shit
I
what you
unfollowed
post.
because I didn't want to see it
And
no
I
more.
don't give Jesus Christ. She don't understand.
I
She posts what
understand
she wants, and I don't give a shit.
All right. Let me just mediate real fast.
I understand. Trust me.
This is
I understand.
Shay. Simply
I
put,
understand.
I will tell you this
I do.
because I still follow him on Instagram. He makes fun of everybody.
No, he don't.
He does.
He don't.
He just
Now-
pulled up a couple.
Yeah, like so whether he, I mean, I guess you can try to make an argument that he disproportionately insults black women more, makes jokes on them more, but he makes fun of everyone. And this is kind of the issue. Like, if you don't like content, just don't watch it, and that's it. You know what I mean? You
And
don't
I
have to like it.
unfollowed. That's why I don't watch it. But I just
So why are you still talking about it then?
wanted to address him for it. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't know he would be here tonight. I always wanted to question him that. He texts my phone
You
and
didn't
asks
even
me and
accept
check up
the
on me
answer.
just to make sure that I'm good, and I respect that. But I don't reply because I simply don't respect him more because it's just the fact that what he posts on the gram, and it's just like what you texting me for, and you do all this to try to play black women like they just always ignorant or don't fucking know.
And you know, that's the crazy thing too. It's like I have like I'm cool with like many Belejo women who recognize what they're doing and recognize what their sisters are doing. They recognize what I'm talking about. And many of them would be called pick-me's and coons and stuff like that, but they see the disconnect, they see the problems. And so they don't come at me. You know what I mean? They understand that I'm speaking from someone who's observing something and not speaking from a point of just, just basically bashing them. They know that I'm speaking from what I'm observing, because if I was bashing them, then you would hear me call them all types of names and, be doing things that like many, I hate to say it, many East Africans do on Clubhouse, for example.
Shit, like you can't do
Because
that.
he cares.
Period.
Think about it. Listen to what she
If you
said.
care,
She
you
checked
wouldn't
on to see if I was
downplay
okay,
it.
but
If you
don't-
care, you wouldn't
He would ask
downplay
you how
it.
you
He's trying to
He didn't
benefit in
care.
your
This is
image,
the-
though.
Can we just have this debate, please? Nobody else.
But
No,
you're not
no,
listening
no,
to me
no.
when I speak. You're telling me what I should be doing instead of asking me why I do it.
I asked you why.
And when I accept it, when I told
asked you why. That was my first
even
question.
now, when I'm saying, when I say, I ask you why, and when I ask you why, and when I ask you why.
And I asked you why. Continue.
All right, so Shay, simply put, he makes his content. You might not like how he disproportionately
And
makes
I
fun of black
unfollow.
women, but yeah, you have the right to do that. I mean,
It's facts.
yeah. So
Everybody
it's
does.
just a little, like it's like it's like if you don't like something, just don't watch it.
I
Right.
know. That's why I unfollowed 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
I don't
so-
want to see it, but I didn't know he
Right.
would be here to ask him that question today.
Okay, yeah, now they
You get what I'm
accept his answer.
saying?
She wanted clarity. All right, well,
That's
No,
it.
she doesn't.
I think that
She wants to be able to control the person. Because
I don't
when you
wanna
want
control
clarity,
it. I just
when
And that's what they want to do. That's what they want to do. When like a Belejo or Dinejo woman gets into a debate with you, she's trying to control you. She's trying to sap you of what makes you a man. She's trying to get you to go down that rabbit hole with you. With her. And you can't let that happen as a man. I know it's hard to do, but you just have to ignore her. You just have to block her. You just have to not acknowledge her. Even in my experience, ever since I had that debate with that dumb East African woman, I'll never go in another room with her, even if some of the guys who I am cordial with on Clubhouse are in there. I'm not gonna go into a room where she is there. or where her friend is there. I'm not going to do it. I have to have dignity for myself. I'm not going to be drawn into no long debate. I refuse to let that happen.
If I wanted to know why a girl didn't want to date me, if she says it, that's the answer. Not to argue with this girl as she states it. You don't tell well, what you should do.
Facts. That's it. It shouldn't take that much of an answer. It shouldn't take that much of a a drawn out response, like, oh, why I don't mess with you. That shouldn't be happening.
You shouldn't.
Tommy
That
funny as
person is
fuck
saying-
though. It's really
ask
funny
a
as fuck because like
You get an answer to a question.
You know what I would
What?
not
I
even
know what?
get it into that
You got
subject.
an answer to a question. You asked, why do I post what I
would get
post?
into
You
the
got an
subject so
answer.
bad, but I'm trying not to.
This is the most
Like,
ridiculous
let's be
shit in
honest.
the world.
He talk about so many black people on his platform, but this nigga was trying to fuck a bad bitch like me. Like, stop playing. Like,
Do you
flew
hear
me-
this shit?
He flew me to him.
Okay, now, I don't, like, at the end of the day, like, you were still entertaining him, though. And you said money isn't everything, but you sure as hell took those flight benefits. If money wasn't everything, you would have just politely declined, right? You would have politely said, "No, I'm good." If money wasn't everything, right?
And your friend.
And my friend.
And
So what
fuck
you're
your friend.
saying?
Why the hell are
And
you
you
sitting
didn't
here
fuck
doing
me?
it?
Okay, so, I mean, he got something out of it at least.
And you didn't fuck
But why are you
me.
doing this?
Because
What she
you
was saying?
niggas was trying
Yo, I'm
to
telling you,
like
hold
niggas
on.
was trying to act
Let me-
right
let
now in
me-
front of
let
a
me-
camera.
how am I- hold on,
Let's
shit.
be
How am I
honest.
trying to act?
Nigga
How am I
couldn't
trying
even
to
get
act?
the
We need
pussy
the race.
because
How am I trying to act?
let's be
How am I
honest.
trying to act? This is why. This is
You see, she got him out of character. Unfortunately, he let that shit happen, and unfortunately, she got him out of his frame, out of his alpha frame. Well, I don't know if I would call it alpha frame, but he let him get her out of his masculine frame.
Black bitches get kicked out of clubs and shit.
I don't give a fuck because it's the truth.
You're
It's
acting
the truth.
stupid.
I'm not acting stupid.
Yes, you are.
I'm
I
not.
know you were trying to fuck
Why
me.
you getting so
This is
mad?
stupid.
It's
Because
so
you're being dumb.
It's
Yeah, unfortunately, that's when you get in a shouting contest with these women, bro, it's like it's a wrap. They already got you. Fortunately, when you get in a shouting contest with them, they already got you, unfortunately, bro. It's like game over. You know what I mean? Sad but true. It's like game over.
I'm not being ignorant. It's the truth.
Bitch, you flew to my house. You said you wanted to fuck.
Exactly.
This is
And
stupid.
I didn't left the fucking messages where I said I
This
wanted
is
to
what you
fuck.
literally did.
No, I did
Was the
not.
pussy good?
You
Yo, this
told
is
me that
stupid.
we were going
This
on a
is
podcast for your show on OnlyFans.
This is fucking dumb.
I got all the receipts in my phone. I can dead ass pull that shit out.
And she's a porta potty.
No, I'm not a party party. Tell me what nigga shitted on me.
Shut up.
Tell me what
Jesus
nigga
Christ.
should know, cause it's
Yeah, you see, with a woman, they'll never shut up. That's the thing. They'll never shut up. They thrive off of this, unfortunately. How men are built different, like for the most part, like a man, he's not gonna want to argue. He's not gonna want to go back and forth. Women, they thrive off of that shit, unfortunately.
Want people to know. You are wanting to let somebody know I tried to
This
fuck you.
nigga
This is
is mad
stupid.
because
Because
I
why?
was
Because why?
and I didn't fuck him on OnlyFans. I didn't want to fuck him.
Is
because
your
I'm
weed
that
that
type of
tight
bitch.
today,
I
man?
get money
Is
in
the
real
glue
life.
fucking with you?
Niggas pay me. Do you hear me?
This bitch
Niggas pay me, so I guess those niggas pay her. She's an Instagram model, and she probably has her OnlyFans as well. She probably has that.
drunk and acting
I'm not
stupid.
drunk. I'm dead ass not
You
drunk.
dead ass drunk
I'm
being stupid.
I promise to God.
That weed too tight and you need a different kind of glue.
God knows I'm not drunk right
Chris,
now.
Dumb son of a bitch. Just up here just being ignorant for no reason.
No. He not finna try to play me on
Who's playing you, stupid bitch?
No, bitch, you fucking stupid.
Nobody's playing your cat suit there.
Get off
So, you know, a melee ensued, and you know, again, you know, here's a woman who looks like obviously she had work done. You see how she's dressed and stuff like that. And it's like, bro, like, why even bother? Why even bother, man? Like, why even entertain that crap? Why even step out of your character to entertain a woman like that? Why even do it, man? But this is why this is why you kind of sometimes have to one up people. You know, this is and you're allowed to do this. You know, Islam, it allows for an eye for an eye, you know, and sometimes you need to do it. And especially in this how should I say it? In this climate we're in right now, you're gonna have to do what I'm about to play, and then I'll end the video.
We can show you starving children in Yemen. We can take you to the camps.
Okay, let's go.
You can see families.
And other diseases of the heart. The Muslims have identified about 33 diseases of the heart. One of the fascinating things about the spiritual diseases of the heart is, like the physical diseases, we oftentimes are unaware of them. Ask any cardiologist. That's what I worked in as a cardiac unit. People are amazed when they suddenly have a heart attack. They weren't even aware they had heart disease. And the spiritual heart is very much like that. There are many people that don't know that they're arrogant. And this is why
Western women, most of them. You know, Western women don't even know, like, most of the time, that they're delusional. They don't know that they are, like, self-absorbed. They don't know that if they're taking thousands of selfies a damn hour, that, you know, you have selfie-itis, which is a real thing. It's a real thing. Or narcissistic. They don't know. They simply don't know. Because dudes, unfortunately, simp and gas them up. But let's continue.
there's a tradition that says arrogance in the presence of an arrogant person is worship.
Exactly. Listen to that. Listen to that.
It says arrogance in the presence of an arrogant person is worship.
Exactly.
In other words, let them know what it feels like. You know,
Exactly. And that's the thing. When dealing with if you decide to deal with a Belej or a Denedra woman, let them know what it feels like. Let them know. So, for example, I don't know if you saw my last video on when the woman was going into it about husbands, like not getting sex from their wives. You know, there was this one catfish looking woman who said, unpicked pick-me's are so hilarious. And I said, catfish with deformed bodies are so hilarious. You have to let them know how it feels. You have to.
there's a type of blessing in that to an arrogant person, to let them know, let them feel the brunt of arrogance, right? Because many arrogant people are completely unaware of their arrogance.
It's true. You know, a lot of them don't know. A lot of them are so self-absorbed and have their heads so far up their whatchamacallit, you know, where the sun don't shine, that they don't even know.
I didn't get that. Explain that again.
About what?
What you just said about
An arrogant person?
showing the arrogant person.
In other words, if somebody's being arrogant with you, that you one-up them. One of the Arab poets said, "Allah,
That and that's what I'll do. You know, so, and you know, when it comes to, and that's with anybody. It's not just with Belej or woman. It's with anybody. Like, if you're arrogant with me, I'm gonna give you something. You know, I'm gonna give you a taste of your own medicine. You know what I mean? You're gonna feel it. You know, And I'm not gonna even say, I don't even have to say your name for you to feel it. You're gonna know who you are. You know what I mean? You're gonna know.
If anybody's going to be arrogant with me, I'm going to show him an arrogance he'll never forget.
That part.
Right? And the idea is it's like a medicine. You know, you're just giving them a little taste. You know, how did you like it? You know, because a lot of people are very unaware of that state, and it's a very unfortunate ailment of the heart, and it can be cured. All these diseases, according to the Muslims, are curable.
So the moral of the story is, like, the moral that I'm trying to make of the story is this. When someone, especially when a woman decides to combat you, give them a taste, okay? Give them a taste, but don't let her drain your energy. Don't let her lure you into a long, drawn out debate with her, because that's what she wants. That's what she thrives off of. Don't let that happen. Do not let that happen. Give them a taste and then leave. That's it. But anyhow, man, y'all leave your thoughts. Y'all leave your comments. Foolish signing out. I'm Jadama.